Let's come back home now to talk about the coronavirus, government overreach and accountability. We covered the Ruby Princess report on Friday. It found inexcusable and inexplicable errors from New South Wales Health when it came to testing passengers and assessing risk. It recommended stricter processes. And yesterday we got this from the New South Wales Premier.
I want to apologise unreservedly to anybody who is continuing to suffer or has suffered unimaginable loss because of mistakes that were made within our health agencies. And again, I say not only have lessons been learned, but clearly those circumstances should and will never happen again in New South Wales.
Well, good on her for fronting up and not hiding behind her health minister, who perhaps should have been out the front. But no health officials have been rebuked or even disciplined over this, and the health minister, Brett Hazzard, is still in his job. Victorian has been open and transparent, but when it comes to the health department, high standards have got to come from the top. You shouldn't have a stuff-up of this order, just apologise and move on. The saving grace for the minister and his department, I suppose, is that New South Wales has performed very well in containing outbreaks since March. Perhaps they've redeemed themselves in the interim while the inquiry has been going on. Sadly, in Victoria, it seems none of those lessons were learned, either on the importance of quarantine or on transparency and accountability. We've had confirmation today that virtually all of the state's infections can be traced back to quarantine breaches. This information should have been shared with the public the moment government had it weeks ago. The health minister there in Victoria, Jenny Mikakos, has actually had responsibility for quarantine now taken away from her, but she's kept her job. The inquiry into this debacle won't report until November. And Premier Daniel Andrews has been denying he was offered Australian Defence Force help, even though he revealed the offer in a press release back in March, and the ADF had this to say today.
The numbers that we had on standby were an initial number that we thought it would be prudent to have available for that, a quick reaction.
And there were those 100 that were on standby for Victoria should they require it in late March.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Victorians are locked down and under curfew, and have a look at how over the top all of this authoritarian nonsense is becoming. This is from 7 News in Melbourne last night.
Over the next week, Victoria Police will dispatch drones. They'll be keeping a watch on St Kilda and Port Melbourne Beach, making sure skate parks and playgrounds remain empty, and for those who head to the park, a mask is a must.
Drones. Drones in the sky, the police watching you from their drones in the sky. This is Australia in 2020. I keep saying it, our governments are overstepping the mark. They've become obsessed with their new powers. They have delusions about eradicating a virus, and they're trampling all over people chasing this implausible dream of eradication. Western Australia today has extended restrictions. Tasmania says it won't open its borders till December at the earliest. When are they going to change tack and work out how to live with the virus? When are they going to stop over-promising on virus suppression and under-delivering on economic and social freedom?